Good morning again, and welcome back to the Backpack Trader Training Room. Crude oil inventory report for Wednesday, 10/22/25. Please note the required risk disclosure. This room is for educational and informational purposes only. It is not individual financial advice. Trade your charts, not mine. Trading of this type carries substantial risks and should only be attempted with funds you can afford to do without. All right, this is the last session for today, so do away with that. Crude's in a short. We'll look for a new setup. I don't want to take a setup from before the report. Spotlight Crude's in a short. Counterpunch Crude in the lower left is in a long. There again, I'll be waiting for a new setup there. Unleaded is flat, has stopped out of its short trade. We'll see what we can do. 58.80 for the session high. 57.33 for the session low. So almost $1.50 in range on the day. Since the session opened at roughly 6 o'clock Eastern yesterday. 6 p.m. Eastern. All right. Not much of a reaction. The report should be out now. Yeah. There's still 8 seconds before it printed another bar. So this is what you call a no reaction report. 58.52 to 58.64. 12 cents. There is a new long setup on the 377 tick counterpunch. Actually, and that the long canceled into a short. Short still valid. And we're 2 minutes in, so we can start taking trades. No more reaction than there was there. That's not a bad get in sync. Short trade triggers on the YM, or on the, it's all crude, or crude and unleaded. But the short trade triggered in on the 377 tick counterpunch. 49, target and money management at 39. Spotlight has gone too far to get in sync with that trade, so we'll look for a new one. No, not much reaction this morning. Counterpunch 377 tick into short trade. $49 to $66 is the risk. Stop at 66, 58.66. So that's 17 tick risk for 10 tick target. All right. Spotlight is flat now. That trade stopped out on the trailer. So unleaded is flat on Spotlight. Crude on Spotlight is flat. Short on Counterpunch 377 tick. And we have a stop and reverse on the 377 tick at the full stop out. And the new trade is going to be this one's got an 11 tick target too. All right, there's a long trade on Spotlight at 62. All right, the stop and reverse is canceled, so we stay in the short trade. Triggers into the yeah, it's a 10 tick minimum, so not a very big trade, but we'll go with it anyway. Long trade also on unleaded. So unleaded and crude are long, or in spotlight, crude are long. There is we stopped out of the short and now have a long just triggered in. This is a small trade. Target is going to be target 3 at the session high, 58.80. And the entry at 68, it looks like. Actually, that trade canceled and we have a new trade. This one's also going to be a target 3 at 59. No, I'm sorry, at 83. Money management at 81. And we'll stop at 59. So all 3 charts are long now. Spotlight Crude tried to make a push. Pull came back to the entry again. Unleaded a little bit underwater. Long trade has canceled again, so we're now flat. We're still flat now on 377 tick counterpunch. There is a new short. That just triggered in. Plenty of time to get into that trade. So we are short again. Loss of 34 ticks. Ten-tick minimum target 2 again. So that's where our money management and target are. And bouncing off the 200 EMA on the 377 tick chart. Also the 50-cent level, it got down to 58.49. Now heading back up. Unleaded testing the 50 EMA, as is Spotlight Crude. $3.77 tick testing the 50 on the upside. $3.77 tick right at the 58 entry. Spotlight 2 or 3 ticks below the entry, and unleaded 2/3 of the way from the entry to the stop. And looking like it's going to move up now. Primarily looks like a consolidation pattern. And going back to the entry at 62 on Spotlight. Right back down to that 58 area. Taking another run. right. Stop and reverse. And it just, no, hasn't triggered yet. One more tick. On the 377 tick counterpoint. We go to 68. Still short. All right. Making some headway on the spotlight long trade. And we did stop and reverse. So we are long now. That was a 10 tick loss, or 10 tick risk. So a 20 tick loss. We're down 54 there. And there is target one. 10 ticks and money management. So that's going to be a one and done. We'll stop on the second position to break even. Entry +1. And we stop out on the trailer. So 11 ticks on that. And that's a one and done spotlight. 2 losses already on Counterpunch. And Unleaded still in its first trade. Unleaded long. Counterpunch. Crude long. Stop down at 49 on the counterpunch crude. $19 risk on this trade. And there is a new stop and reverse. The 56, make it 54. $56 would be the entry key level around the fives, puts it at 54. Now, is that going to make it too small? Yeah. Target 3 is going to be only 8 ticks. That's a no trade. You don't even, I won't even consider that one. It's just too small. So it's not even going to be a stop and reverse. We'll stay in, even though it's triggered in now, we will stay in the long trade. 68. All right. Looks like not much, if any, movement. We got almost no reaction at all. All right, unleaded taking a lot of heat. And we did stop out of the long. That's 3 losses. I'm going to call that a session on the counterpunch chart. Unleaded is not doing much in the way of movement. So it's 11 o'clock. And I believe I'm going to call that a session, especially if the unleaded trade stops out. Let's see if we can get that trade resolved. Yeah, Crude now making an up move. Pushing unleaded up with it as well. I'm going to have to call it a morning, guys. Unleaded is our only active at this point. Still in its initial long trade after the report. We will have to close it down, and we will see you tomorrow at 9:30 a.m. Thursday morning, regular session. See you there.